Hello, I'm Klaus Hofmann, Group CEO of CCE Group, and today I'm joined by two outstanding leaders, Charles from ULD and Jerry from TRIP&CO Catering Equipment. We're going to explore today the sector of our industry a little bit more in terms of innovation, where the industry is heading and what we are seeing so far in our industry. We are going to have a great conversation moving forward, and I am very pleased to have you both here with me today. So yeah, this brings us also to our first question. So recently, Jerry and Charles, we participated the WTCE in Hamburg and the WCS in Dubai. So what were the major key takeaways from this participation on the show over there? What have you seen? What have you discussed with your customers? If you can elaborate on this a little bit, this would be great.
Yeah, well, to start that, I believe for Dries, the Hamburg show, as I would say the previous years, was a fantastic display of our company. We showed our latest products. We had very good interaction with many customers. We had like 300 to 400 people visiting our booth. Very good discussions with our customers. I would say the two highlights we had were the presentation of the ultralight, hybrid ultralight trolley.
So that's your newest product development?
Yes, this is the newest product that we bring out there, which for a full-size trolley, we will break through the 15 kilo border. So we will be below 15 kilo, which is unique in the market.
Very good.
And next to that, I highlight the fact that we had numerous demonstrations of our Clio 360 platform.
So that's your digital solution.
The digital
which we will touch
solution
on a little bit later on.
Yes, correct.
Very
It's a
good.
digital solution. We had a special meeting room set up where we could spend the time with the customers to even show them their data in our portal. And almost sign them up already to explore
On the spot,
and play further with the system.
How was their feedback when you were guiding them through on this portal with their own data?
So a lot of positive feedback. It's they can see their own orders that they have with us. They can see in the demo environment where trolleys move around in the let's say on the globe. The Hamburg show is not really a show where business is done, but we were able to connect with a lot of airlines to make sure that in the week after the show we could give them the login details and they can see their own fleet information, their own manuals to do the maintenance, the spare part list, and their pending orders.
Oh, that's fantastic. And it's unique in the industry right now.
We are the only ones who are offering this for the catering equipment, correct?
Yeah, congratulations on this. Charles, on WCS, we were there together. I was also with you at WTCE, so we had great engagements over there, as you just said. But on WCS, what were the highlights from a IATA point of view, but also from ULD?
Yeah, it was a fantastic event in Dubai. I'm not sure if it was record attendance, but there were over 1,500 delegates there. From our perspective, very interested to hear from the industry more broadly as to what the current take is on the impacts on world trade.
Right.
After 18 months of consecutive month-on-month growth, to be in the current environment, it was good to hear from our customers and from IATA the impacts of the current tariffs. From a ULD perspective, a very successful event. So there were three themes that were presented at the opening plenary from IATA. So around digital sustainability and safety and resilience. And that aligned very closely to what we had on exhibit. So there were two main product types that we had on exhibit. The collapsible container. It was the first time that we physically had 14 collapsible containers on a pallet under a net to be able to show the industry.
Oh, by the way, where's the net coming from?
Of course, I was going to get to that. So, yeah, we're exhibiting next to TRIP&CO. So that was fantastic. So the recent acquisition. And good to have the TRIP&CO guys close by because it made some of the customer conversations really easy to facilitate.
But yeah, 14 units on a pallet, that's significant.
Yeah, so from a an operational efficiency perspective for the airlines in terms of managing their networks, and from a sustainability perspective, it's a solution that we're very proud of. So rather than having excess AKEs on your fleet to help balance your network, this allows you to collapse 14 units onto a pallet to bring back from an outstation where you have the imbalance. And then that frees up 5 pallet positions for revenue cargo. So you're not transporting empty units.
And as I recall with my engagements as well on the customer side, it's confirmed a true issue in the airline industry and the cargo shipments. So that's really a pain point they are having, imbalanced routes. You further developed that solution to a lighter weight solution from the previous offering.
Yeah, so we had a collapsible on display last year, which generated interest, and we've had conversations over the last 12 months with our airline customers on what they wanted to see. So we've incorporated that feedback over the past 12 months into the final product. So we've certified the aluminium unit, and we're at the final stages of certification for the NGMAX and Herculite units as well.
To go even lower in weight, to have even more savings. For
lighter weight units, yes. In addition to the collapsible, we had our portfolio of SmartULD products. So the various container tags. So the standard one offering geolocation, which is just an expectation of customers looking for a track and trace solution. But then the other 3 special tags, so the fire tag, which is the early detection of the off-gassing of a damaged lithium battery prior to going to thermal runaway, providing up to 2 hours early warning of an event.
Which is amazing.
The occupancy tag, so fitted with LiDAR technology to be able to detect how full a unit is. And then also a tag that we've developed for ground equipment, so non-motorized equipment or even GSC.
Nice.
So it's a simpler device where you don't need the global coverage.
Right.
We also had on display the pallet tag, and the final is the lower cost BLE tags that we can fit to accessories. So very timely with TRIP&CO joining the family of companies under CCE. We can have tracking devices fitted to nets and thermal covers and fire containment covers, which communicate with our container tags, and the container tags become the infrastructure to provide this ecosystem of connectivity.
Right. Yeah, which is one of the priorities of CCE Group, to create such an ecosystem and therefore value creation for our customers. Now, very good. So it sounds like 2 very successful shows recently. Looking into 2025, we are in an environment of uncertainty with the current tariffs discussions, but also others. So based on this, Jerry, from a Treason point of view, what are the key priorities or the strategic priorities you would set for 2025?
So yes, well, of course, we always have to adapt our annual calendar. But if I say really at the beginning of the year, the main objectives were to kind of strengthen our leadership position. Actually, by doing what we actually are always doing, and that is, listen to the companies, tailor our products to the needs of their operational desires. Yeah. And then actually make sure we certify that, and also we qualify that with the OEM platforms, so that all the trolleys that come out of our factory seamlessly can be integrated and can be compliant with the airplanes that are being delivered. So that was, let's say, the start of the year. Of course, we have a lot of focus on innovation. But yes, since a month or since the big topic about the tariffs, we are very, I would say, proactive in making sure that we adapt to the situations that are coming to us. We went through the COVID times. We are, I would say, a very resilient team, a very resilient company. And I'm quite confident by being very short on the ball that we can also get through this period.
Absolutely. I can testify that I think COVID was already a stress test for our organization, and you have made clear that coming out of a crisis, thanks to opportunistic mindset and positive mindset, much stronger and much more resilient, helps us obviously to go through these uncertainties. And we have the right products and the right services in front of the market to weather the storm.
Yes, and the right team.
And the right team,
yeah.
Very important. Charles, on Avios, what would you say are the key priorities for 2025?
Very much in line with what Jerry said. I think this year, resilience and agility are key.
Yes.
And in addition, our vision and mission remain the same. Right. So, coming into our second year of working with the Kaizen Institute and the Avios Ascend program, we are following the same approach for strategic deployment. So we got the leadership team and all the managers together early on in the year. Right. And we went through the Hoshinkanri exercise where we've identified our strategic priorities for 2025. So in 2024, I think we may have been guilty of trying to do too many things. And as a result, the pace in which we're able to implement wasn't as quick as I would have liked. Right. So this year is a bit more around laser focus on the priorities.
So what moves the needle is important, right? As you like to say it before.
Exactly. So without going into the specifics of the priorities, it's around the themes of both organizations have always been built on a foundation of innovation, yes. Focus on the development of our team, the various activities around commercial and operational excellence, and I think we'll talk about it a bit later, but sustainability is now key in the industry. So,
absolutely. No, thank you very much. Looking to the expectations from our customers, we know that the airlines and our industry is focusing a lot on sustainability. We have all a common goal for 2050 to become net zero in terms of emissions. So if you are in tender processes or in conversations with the airlines, what do they asking you? What do they expecting from you in regards to sustainability and transparency of this? So how do you see that, Jerry, with your engagements?
Well, I see, let's say there are a couple of elements. So, so yes, I can confirm that for all the airlines, this is a big topic on the map. And in tenders, sometimes even a formal requirement to fill in questionnaires. Right. You need to, for example, in the EcoVadis system, we are exchanging information about the status and the report that can be given there. But if you look at next to, let's say, the formality and the acknowledgement of, let's say, how your organization is rated, it's about lightweight. It's about weight. Every kilo that is counting. It's extra CO2. It's a fuel burn. And also another element of sustainability within the airlines that we see in the catering environment is all about food waste. Mm. And kind of, let's say, being wasteful within your operations. So same in our factory, we try to eliminate all the muda or the waste we have in our processes. For an airline, it's the same. Mm. There is a lot of overstocking in terms of food and drinks, just to ensure that the customer has the best experience. But this comes at a price, and this is wasteful. And if you talk about food, this is really food that will have to be, let's say, disposed, incinerated. You cannot use it again. Mm. If you talk about beverages, it means a lot of handling to sort out drinks that come back from the airplane and make sure they qualify and can be brought back into the system. And of course, if you bring so much, let's say, overstocking meals and drinks on board, it means you bring a lot of extra kilos on board as well, which is again CO2, which is again fuel burn. So these are the two, I would say, the mainstream topics. And then I would say as a second layer, we see that airlines are all working on trying to separate waste as part of their service on-board handling. And you see certain airlines, when they collect the meals after the service, they do a huge effort to try to separate already the different categories of food remains and waste of plastic, etc. So we have solutions there in our that can be integrated into the waste trolleys, but also a simple thing as a cool trolley, which enables to kind of extend the cool lifetime of the goods inside the trolley without using dry ice. Yes. So dry ice is not considered to be a sustainable cooling agent or a cooling source. And we see that with cool cassettes, we can bring a kind of more sustainable solution to the market. So there's the mainstream, the weight. I would say a higher level is even the EcoVadis rating. And by the way, we are, since March this year, we are gold rated EcoVadis. So that means we are with the top 5% globally in terms of sustainability rating. Then weight, as I said, and then there are all sorts of initiatives to tackle the waste in the operations.
Yeah, very good. Charles, do you see similar trends from the cargo side, or are there different focus criteria from an airline or from your customers in regards to sustainability?
It's very similar. What is apparent is that there is quite some confusion out in the industry around sustainability. So in the early 2000s, there was a big drive on lightweight ULDs, primarily driven by fuel saving. Right. So fuel saving remains key, but it's under the broader context of emissions. However, I think people understand the importance, and it is becoming part of the conversations, and more so in terms of some of the procurement decisions. But again, it's confusion as to what is important under the topic of sustainability. So the approach that we've taken is this cradle-to-grave concept, using the concepts of the carbon footprint of both the organisation and of our products. So we have completed the assessment of the carbon footprint of the organisation, I think, like Driessen have. Right. So looking at the scope 1, 2 and 3 emissions. And in the coming weeks, we'll be getting the carbon footprint of our products for the aluminium Herculite Endumax containers, and also we've used one pallet as a reference. The early information that we've got is the impact of the different material types is extremely insignificant compared to the weight, as Jerry mentioned. So right. Weight is absolutely key here. Right. Yeah, so we can look at everything that's involved in the manufacture of the raw materials, what we do at Avius in terms of the manufacture. Yes. But it's really the in-use impact of the ULDs, which is driving most of the environmental impact. And then when I mentioned confusion in the market, it's around the end of life, which in the calculation represents a very small amount of the emissions, but it is something tangible and people understand about recycling and things. Right. So often there's a misconception that aluminium is the most useful. It's the most environmentally friendly because of its it can be easily recycled. But the energy inputs at the beginning of the process to manufacture aluminium are extremely high, and also the weight, the impact that has in use means that it's not really the preferable solution.
Right. And I know you are working on a study on demonstrating this with our lightest weight solution on the Endomax containers versus the aluminium container.
Yeah, so as I mentioned, in the coming weeks, we'll have our final report on the different types, which we will be sharing with our customers. And we're also, we're very fortunate that we've been able to follow Driesen with the EcoVadis program, because while we've had the ISO certification for environment and safety, EcoVadis provides this much broader framework on what we need to be doing around the 4 different pillars. Right. And so it's helped guide us in terms of setting policy, the training that we need to do with our staff, and setting long-term KPIs and targets for the entire program.
Yes.
So I feel we're now at a very good point to have a comprehensive ESG strategy across both businesses.
Yeah, that's a perfect transition to the next point, because once we have now clarified the expectations from the airlines, what are you guys doing at your company level and factory level from an ESG point of view to support these initiatives as well? So, Jerry, you mentioned EcoVadis one more time. I think big congratulations to achieving in such a short time such a tremendous result. What else is Driesen doing?
Yeah, so as Charles mentioned, we have our clear goal set for 2025, 2030, right, and the zero net at 2050. I would say our ESG strategy is focusing, I would say, today on 2 things: reduce the carbon within the operations we have, and secondly, make sure on the employee side, or as an employer side, right, we aim to become the employer of choice. Right. So what we're doing for these 2 main themes. As you know, we have our complete plant roofs are covered with solar. Right. So 30% of the energy we use, we can use by our solar system. Also, let's say the whole waste management, our waste in the waste reduction, water consumption reduction. We have for all of these different streams, we have projects. To improve year over year, our utilization, and of course that's subject to the volume of output. I mean, we cannot grow the business and at the same time make huge reductions in the energy we use. But for sure, we will have very steep targets to cut out all the waste where we can, and I think this is the right thing to do. Because it's good for the environment, it's good for the people, and also financially. I mean, all the waste represents also a dollar value.
Well, it's as you said, it's the right thing to do. We have an obligation as a market leader in the industry to be on the forefront of what is capable to be of doing in the industry. I also recall you have a internal committee for that one to make sure the internal organization is driven in this direction.
Yes, we have a sustainability committee. So, and actually we have a huge as part of our ESG management. There's a complete suite of KPIs addressing diversity, let's say energy consumption, all sorts of energy consumption. So the diesel we use, the gas we use, the electricity, the water. But also on the people side. First of all, I'm very proud to announce that already for 5 years, and I have to knock on wood, we not have any safety accidents in our factory. So that is a nice record. But also we make sure that our wages are fulfilling all the requirements that from EcoVadis and ESG are set. And finally, we focus on extensive training, development of our people, but also offer them career and make sure also while we all do that and take care of the well-being, we try to have fun as well, as much as we can, because that's indeed very important.
We have a lot on our plate, a lot of priorities and a lot of, let's say, sometimes conflicting priorities, but also tough deadlines and very good competition in the market as well. So keeping the fun part is extremely important.
Yeah, and I think sustainability is an easy sell with your team. I mean, people are passionate about it, and
It becomes more popular, right, from the people.
So getting the team involved in the various initiatives is an easy thing to do,
Right.
and they're all very keen to get involved.
Right. So I'm sure Avios is doing similar, let's say, initiatives within the company than what Driesen is doing. This is also part of our culture at CCE Group, that we share best practices across the companies and helping each other to implement the best of the best. Is there anything you would add in terms of ESG initiatives at Avios ULD?
Yeah, I'm not going to repeat what Jerry said because we're aligned in terms of implementing the same practices. I think both organizations are also actively involved in charitable work outside of the business. And again, that's something which is good for our team because outside of the work context, can go and get involved in these activities.
Right. We have started to touch on this already with the recent developments your teams are doing on the ultralight trolley, but also on the collapsible container. This is obviously directly supporting the initiatives for a more sustainable aerospace future, and obviously the weight savings are instrumental to that, but also, as you said before, the addressing of imbalanced routes from the collapsible container. Anything else you want to share how this is helping the sustainability targets and the emissions in the industry?
Well, yes, I can just mention some data. So if you look at the hybrid ultralight, as I mentioned, we are now under 15 kilos for the full size trolley. Which is about 1.5 kilo lower than I would say the predecessor that we have in the market. Right. This 1.5 kilo contributes to, let's say, between 4 and 5 ton CO2, and around 120 to 150 kilo of fuel burn per year per trolley. So you can do the mathematics that even a relatively small thing as 1.5 kilo makes a huge difference, and even could be an interesting business case for the customer as well.
Right.
Economically,
especially if they are not coming from your predecessor of your products, because if the customers of yours have a even older product in their fleet, which has maybe a 4 or 5 kilo differences on one of these trolleys, the impact is even more magnificent.
Yes, absolutely. Yes, you're absolutely right.
Very good.
Yeah. In addition to the fuel saving benefits, by going with our lightest weight product, the NUMAX unit, the airline's also benefiting from a lower total cost of ownership, which is also a sustainability impact. So by having a lightweight, strong, resilient unit, you're improving the asset utilization because it's staying in service longer, it lasts longer. The challenge that we have is often the decision maker for the initial purchase is very focused on that, the upfront purchase cost, and isn't looking at the longer term operational cost of maintaining it. Right. So the role we have is to make sure that information is known, clearly
understood in the market.
Explained.
Exactly, very good. No, I appreciate that. Switching gears a little bit, so we are arriving already the second anniversary of CCE Group since its creation, as we started in June 2023 with the acquisitions of the different business units out of Safran. So what have changed for you? How has your team perceived the changes? How's your daily life with CCE Group? And you can be as open as you want here.
Well, I think it's better you leave the room, then we can really elaborate on this topic now. But without joking, it's been I would say, a very interesting and even fantastic journey. It started already by figuring out what would be our company name.
Yeah, I remember that.
And as from there, we always try to have our strategy on where we would want to bring our business unit in a big group as Safran. But being really kind of standalone or part of a fairly agile and small group as CCE, it's a complete different ball game. And I must say it's a fantastic difference that we have. We have way more focus on, way more agility. There's more focus on innovation. We really try to think about the long-term future. And what I also appreciate is the very practical interaction we have as a small team within CCE.
Right.
The weekly contact with Charles. Couple of weeks we talk, and if there's something ongoing, we talk all the time. We can move very fast, yes. Very practical. And we're very flexible. So I think that's a fantastic setting to work in. And it's also a very good setting to be successful in.
Right. I think also the relaunch of the brand, especially of Driesen, is a success in the market. It was always a very recognized name in the industry, a very respected name. Correct. And I think this is also true for Avios ULD, where you and I, Charles, we had numerous engagements with the team, but also with our friends from Lexicon to find the right name and the right branding strategy. And I think this was one of the great successes also as an outcome of this.
Certainly it was an exciting time coming up with a new brand and then launching it to the market and supporting it. But also being able to define our vision, mission, and company values, and then shape the company culture that we wanted. So while we have come out of the protection of a large corporate, there's a real sense that we can control our own destiny, far more agile. And I think, as Jerry mentioned, the interaction between our companies and the cooperation is working really well.
Yeah, thank you for that. Yeah, as you know, also recently we just had our in-person XCOM meeting, missing Pierre in this roundtable here, who is our group CFO. But this was also a great exchange and shows and demonstrate what we just have discussed. Yeah, we put ourselves 2 days into a meeting room and just discussed the future of the industry, the strategy of the group, of the companies, and the innovation sector, the market environments. And as we are doing this on a regular basis, I think this helps a lot to stay on top of industry trends and really revolutionizing our entire industry.
Completely agree.
So very well. Okay, so as we were talking about revolutionizing things, one of the major developments we are doing right now is the launch of digital solutions. So we have touched on this already a little bit at the intro when we were talking about the participation at WCS and WTCE. But so Charles, elaborate a little bit more on SmartULD. Where do we come from? How quick have we developed actually such a nice solution, and how game-changing it is? What are the unique features of SmartULD?
Yeah, so this started with the discussions between you and me 2 years ago, right, where we agreed that it was definitely the direction that we wanted to take the organization, but definitely not with a Me Too product. We wanted to have something which was a step change in technology. So we've been very fortunate that the first movers in the space with the conventional BLE have established the market. So our customers can understand the benefits, but there are some limitations around that.
The current solutions in the market.
Yeah, the solutions. So how are we different? Well, the main constraint under the existing solutions is the trade-off between coverage and data versus battery life.
Right, energy management, yeah.
So where we are fundamentally different is we've got a solution that isn't reliant on the battery, because we've got energy harvesting, which keeps the unit powered through movement, which then enables us to use different technology for the sensing and also the communication. So the device, I'll use an example, the standard container tag, is fitted with technology that allows it to use satellite positioning when it's outdoor. When it's indoor, it uses Wi-Fi sniffing. So it uses multilateration of the Wi-Fi signals that it picks up. So within a warehouse where you will not have the satellite connection, you've got the Wi-Fi. So you can get very fine accuracy within a cargo warehouse. And then the communication to the back end of the system is through cellular.
Which means you have no infrastructure requirement.
Yeah, and the benefit there to our airline customers is you don't have the limitations of limited coverage, and also the time to install all the readers in a given area if it's not covered under existing readers. So the rollout's very fast. It's just a matter of fitting the devices to the containers and pallets, and then having immediate global coverage.
Global coverage. Yeah, that's impressive. Because as you just mentioned, the solutions out there today are requiring an infrastructure and installation, which is costly and timely for the end user or for the users who wants to participate in this kind of program. And the battery limitations are therefore limiting the options the tech can actually provide. So this is why you are able to have much more functions in one tech thanks to the energy harvesting.
Yeah, you're dead right, Klaus. So it's very easy to get fixated on the technology because it's tangible and in front of you. But once the units are enabled, that's of no interest to the customer any longer. It's the quality of the data that they're getting, and more importantly, the insights that they're getting from that data.
Right.
So once you start incorporating the additional data that we can provide, and also the analytics, it unlocks a world of opportunities, not just in terms of your fleet management, but then also addressing operational issues that you may have around the ULDs.
And I think the easier to implement, the quicker the acceptance is there. We see this with all the technology developing. If you need a masterclass of 2 months in order to operate your iPhone, nobody will buy this iPhone. And if you need to install readers and whatever at your home to work with that, nobody will do that. It must be a plug and play, easy to use, ready to use solution in order to penetrate the larger scale.
Yeah, and we've been very fortunate with both our technology partner, eLocate, in that they embrace the same agile approach to the development.
Yeah, I can absolutely confirm that.
Both in terms of the hardware, but also the back end. Some very interesting developments are coming. But we've also been very fortunate in having a customer partner who has helped really define what they want to see out of the technology and guide that development process.
Very important to have very close customers to you who are willing to co-develop with you in order to support the technology innovation. Very good. A little bit the opposite on Thyssen, I would say, from a digital point of view. As Charles mentioned, there were already some players in the industry and a foundation is already laid out. The acceptance in the industry is there for technology. There's actually now a requirement of this because it has been made available to them, so now they want it, as they know what kind of pain points it addresses. It's very similar from, I would say, to you and to your industry, where you are the absolute front runner in terms of this technology adaptation for your equipment. So tell us a little bit more about Clio 360.
Yeah, so I don't know exactly the number of years, but I believe, let's say, within cargo, I would say at least 7 years already, there are track and trace solutions really flying, and maybe longer even, a little bit longer. So I would say within that industry or that market, it's very well understood, at least what can be done with it. If you look at let's say the catering trolley, let's say ecosystem, We have to still, we are in the beginning steps of creating this awareness, showing the value that the system brings. And obviously the starting point is fleet management, optimization. So bring the data to manage your fleet more efficiently. So all these features are there with Clio 360. But actually, in my view, this is just the beginning, and potentially even not interesting enough. I would say where way more potential in the catering ecosystem is to use the let's say data-enabled trolleys to gain insights into your catering operation, and this is where it becomes interesting, because this catering operation is a very time-driven, time-stressed process. I mean, the plane cannot leave if the trolleys are not on there. Right. And they all need to be filled, they need to be cleaned, they need to be checked. And this is a super stressful process. And in order to deal with these activities, actually there's a lot of buffers built into the process. So this is waste, this is inefficiency, this is cost. And with the data that the trolley can capture as they go in that ecosystem, you can actually gain very interesting insights. So you can easily track, was the trolley on time at the airplane? But also within the whole cycle, from having the trolley getting at the catering station into going out again, all the dwell time, where is the dwell time occurring? You can get enormous good insight about your whole catering process. Right. And next to that, there is also, I would say, a very interesting use case, and that is amongst reporting damages or let's say faults with the product during the flight.
Maybe even airworthiness.
Which could be airworthiness risk. So there are reporting systems. But these are very, I would say, old-fashioned. Sometimes airlines put a sticker or a tag on it, and they get easily kind of lost. With Clio 360, you can do onboard very efficiently, easily reporting of a damage.
So you can flag the trolley, and
the trolley will be flagged.
Needs to be repaired, otherwise it's not airworthy.
Exactly, and you can definitely then also follow up with the repair activities. Right. That the trolley was indeed, let's say, repaired and made airworthy again.
I think this is a very interesting element of where our customers should see the value of this solution, because this comes with penalties, this comes with risk in the safety of the operations of the airlines. So this is definitely a very interesting use case, which I'm sure the team of Driesen and yourself is pushing already in the market.
Correct.
Now, very interesting. I think to make the link to our next subject of this conversation, where is all of this innovation coming from? So, of course, the customer has raising expectations, etc. But what I like in our environment is that thanks to our competitors as well, we are living in a landscape of where we need to reinvent ourselves from time to time in order to stay on top of the game. And this is where I think competition is extremely healthy for ourselves in terms to continue to push our status quo and think of breakthrough ideas, such as the digital part, which none of our competitors for the moment are touching in the amount we are doing it, as well as in the for the airlines and for the end users, because this drives the competition drives the changes in the industry, which go after safetiness of the passenger experiences, but also fuel savings, ergo the weight. I mean, we had this discussion the other time, but from the trolley, we come from 20 plus kilo back in the days, right?
Yes. Almost 30 kilos, yes.
Can you imagine? And today you have a breakthrough in your development to go below 15 kilo. This is thanks to the competition as well, because, of course, the competition is not sleeping, neither should they. So they come with innovative ways of how to do that, and therefore we are always in this element of competing to each other, which is healthy, in my opinion, for the entire industry. And I'm glad that we have this level of competition.
Absolutely. The the activities and innovation from our competitors is moving the industry ahead. So specifically in ULDs, we talk about lightweight. I mentioned earlier that during the early 2000s, there was this race for the lightweight development, and we saw a lot of work, both by, it was our company Zodiac at the time, but also more broadly in the industry, exploring new composite materials, and some of them were right out there. Right. But it was great to see, and it stimulates the whole innovation process. I think more recently, and this can't be understated enough, is what the ULD industry has done around the issue of lithium battery safety, yes. Lithium battery fire safety. So fantastic work done in the industry.
In the industry, yeah. I mean, all the manufacturers of ULDs are really putting this as their priorities. As you and I are attending these shows for many years now, ULD Care, WCS, and we have a good relationship, I would say, with our competitors. This is a common goal which brings the competitors actually together and helps innovating in the sector and therefore improving a more safe environment.
Yeah, to the benefit of
everyone and the industry. And this is exactly what should it be.
Yeah. More recently, we've been involved in an industry working group under the theme of sustainability.
Exactly.
So it was launched by the trade association ULD Care, but has had involvement from most of the ULD manufacturers and defining how we can come up with some standards to benchmark different units. So it may not be perfect, but it shows that there's a collaboration around an industry issue and working together to come to a beneficial outcome.
That's fantastic.
So let's say for Driesen, I would say the challenge is really focused on weight, as you mentioned. But next to that, we really try to let's say get inspired, or let our innovation get inspired by trends within the airlines, right, about the food, the passenger experience, but also let's say how they configure the interiors of the airplanes. So we have a theme that we call the shrinking galley. So we see, let's say, that airlines try to optimize the seat setup in the airplanes, which goes at the expense of the of the galley space. So which goes at the expense of the number of trolleys that come on board, and this brings operational challenges. So we really try to work with our customers to see how we can make sure that with that lower space, still the same level of service and handling on board by the crew can be achieved. Right. So I would say these airline trends and also, as I mentioned earlier, the sustainable, let's say the waste handling on board and the whole catering concept on board is where we really try to really differentiate also and make sure that we work closely with the airlines. And a lot of airlines have their own philosophy about the concept that they want to bring to the passengers. So we need to be very, let's say, adaptive. We need to adapt well to all the concepts. And this will, I think, also will really help us to remain competitive.
Right. A good transition from this to the next subject is that as we have alluded to it also before, CCE Group has done its first acquisition just recently with acquiring TRIP&CO, industry leader in terms of their market, niche market. So shout out to our guys from TRIP&CO who can't be here with us today. Charles, as this is going directly from a complementary point of view into Avios ULD, as we are enhancing here the cargo solutions offerings under CCE Group. So how do you see this acquisition, and what value will that bring to the customers of Avios and TRIP&CO?
Yes, Avios, we're very happy about the acquisition. So it broadens our product portfolio into a space that we weren't in before by adding the accessories of nets and straps and fire containment covers. And what that means for our customers is that we can be the one-stop shop and move towards more of a solution offering for them. So it means we can provide pallets fitted with nets from our facility, which saves the customer the fitment at a ground handler on receipt of the pallets. But then also just having the availability of the consumables like the thermal covers and the straps. It can all be done through their trusted ULD partner, AVS ULD. It also then allows us, in line with what I was discussing further with our digital solutions, is to incorporate digital into the portfolio. So having traceability on high-value fire containment covers, which are linked to the ULD,
Yes.
and then all being monitored through a platform. So being able to see not only where the units are, but also being told when something may need to come in for replacement because it's at end of life, or being able to track when something's been taken off when it shouldn't have, all within that single ecosystem.
Yeah, interesting. Very good. Thank you. Any similar or any comments from the Triesen environment? to
Well,
this?
I would say, of course, our activities are not so complementary versus AVS ULD, but still, I think we have our development head office in the Netherlands. TRIP&CO is in the Netherlands. We have already some initial discussions. It's it's the very beginning stage, but in the domain of thermal covers, we see some interesting potential. And as we get to know our new brothers and sisters from TRIP&CO, I'm pretty sure we will find more, let's say, potential synergies which can go both ways. And of course, we have some of the same customers. So also there, even from a CCE point of view, I think there's an opportunity for bundling offers, etc.
Yes.
And becoming really a trusted party for our customers.
Very good. Now, thanks for this feedback. So finally, looking ahead, what biggest opportunities do you see out there in the current, let's say, environment, but also in regards to our vision, where we see it? So what are the biggest opportunities you see in the market so far or in the industry?
So I would say in the catering domain, the biggest opportunity is really sustainability. As I elaborated already about all the waste that is on board, but also, let's say, the big theme that all the airlines, same as us as a company, have about net zero. This will really require a huge transformation of the way we do business, the way we make our products, the way we design, the resources we use. So this is a big challenge, but also I see that there's a big opportunity and also actually a big duty to do the right thing.
Gotcha.
As a company, and you have to do this together with the partners around you. So that means with your suppliers, and also partner up with the customers. So this is, let's say, in the catering equipment environment, the biggest opportunity.
Okay. Charles, how do you see this for your industry?
For AVS ULD specifically, I think for us the opportunity is transitioning from what has been a fairly conventional manufacturer and supplier of product to becoming a provider of a full solution. So incorporating the ULD, the accessory, overlaying it with a total cost of ownership solution. So looking at supporting the customer over the life of the product, and then bringing in the digital solution as well. So the tracking and the insights and the analytics. So it becomes a comprehensive solution for the customer over an extended period of time, rather than just selling the product and providing spare parts.
Understood. All right. So that leaves me over with saying thank you to both of you to take your time out of your busy schedule to be here today, so we can have this nice conversation to talk about a little bit industry trends, future customers, competitors, and recent successes. It's very rare that we get together in one spot with our schedules these days, but it's great that we use the time to do that. Again, thank you to you and your teams, and well, let's have a safe travel back to wherever we go by using our equipment as much as possible.
I not go in a trolley, but
so thanks, guys.
Good to catch up.
yeah,
Okay.
nice. Thank you.
Thanks, guys.